It was supposed to be a simple drill at Reactor Number 4. The day shift had spent weeks preparing for it. They knew the safety rules perfectly, but at the afternoon Moscow called. The electrical grid needed power, so the test had to be stopped immediately. It was delayed for 9 long hours, and this delay changed everything. By the time Moscow gave green light, the expert day shift had gone home. In their place was newbie night staff. They were never told about the experiment. Anatoly Dyaltov told them to lock in. Night staff tried to explain that we are cooked since we have no knowledge about this. But Anatoly could not care less. He ordered the power reduction to begin anyway. But because of a 9-hour delay, a silent poison had built up inside the core. The reactor was stalling down, giving a desperate warning of shutdown. Dyaltov refused to listen and screamed at his young operators to override the computer and pull out the reactor's control rod. These rods were basically brakes of the reactor. Out of all, only 8 remained inside. At 1:24 a.m., the test began. Water pumps slowed, and intense heat turned water into massive steam bubbles. In panic, the shift manager slammed the emergency stop button, AZ5. It was supposed to kill the reaction. The tips of rods were made of graphite, so instead of stopping the reaction, it got accelerated. The 1,000-ton concrete roof was blown clean off. The burning core was exposed straight to the night sky. Firefighters rushed to the scene thinking it was a simple roof fire. They picked up glowing chunks of graphite with their bare hands. Within hours, their skin began to blacken. They were breathing in millions of microscopic bullets of radiation. For days, the Soviet Union tried to cover it up. They shut down phone lines in the nearby city of Pripyat and let children play in the radioactive dust. They only admitted the disaster to the world after radiation alarms tripped in Sweden, thousands of miles away. The Kremlin cared more about looking weak in the Cold War than protecting human lives. Now, to control the core, they first needed to clear the highly radioactive debris surrounding it. They deployed specialized West German robots for the task, but the radiation was so intense that the most advanced machines of the era fried and failed within minutes. So, the only option was to use manpower. They drafted over 60,000 men who were given exactly 90 seconds to shovel the deadly debris into the crater. Any longer meant certain death from prolonged exposure. Finally, through sheer human sacrifice, the debris was cleared. But a new nightmare was forming right under the reactor. The melting nuclear fuel, sand, and concrete had combined into a terrifying, glowing lava. It melted through the building's pipes and hardened into a dense mass known as the elephant's foot. This object was so toxic that just 5 minutes of exposure meant absolute death, earning its reputation as the deadliest object in human history. Even with the debris cleared, the open reactor was still breathing invisible poison into the atmosphere. The Soviets knew they had to bury the beast. Working under lethal radiation levels, crane operators sat inside cabins lined with thick sheets of lead, working entirely blind. Guided only by radios from spotters miles away, they poured 400,000 cubic meters of concrete over the ruin, trapping the core inside a massive, hasty tomb called the Sarcophagus. But that hasty concrete tomb was only a temporary patch. Over the decades, it began to crack and crumble, threatening to collapse and release a new wave of apocalyptic dust. To fix it permanently, international engineers pulled off the ultimate miracle. They built a 32,000 stainless steel arch, the largest movable land structure in human history, and slowly slid it over the entire infected reactor. It is designed to trap the monster for the next 100 years. If we talk about the death caused by Chernobyl, then the total number of deaths caused will be roughly 5,000, out of which 2 died immediately at the explosion. 29 died a slow and painful death, and the others died in later years because of cancer. Before the disaster, Pripyat used to be a city of lights, home to nearly 50,000 people. After the city was deserted, nature slowly claimed the entire area. Trees now grow through concrete floors, and wildlife roams the empty areas. While the ruins clearly show signs of life that once existed here, but now no one lives here, and it has become silent ghost town. Today, it is completely abandoned, and no one is allowed to enter the 19-mile exclusion zone without special military clearance. That's the story of how only a single man's ego destroyed many homes and lives. That's why we shouldn't make decisions while we are in a state of anger or frustration. Be happy and spread love. I will see you in the next video.